So that is absolutely right, Anand Prabhu. Thank you. So we should approach someone who has this knowledge, and then only we would be able to accept it. Perfect. Now it's a basic question, but let's see who answers. What is the difference between gross body and subtle body? Anand Prabhu, you have already replied. So let's see who. Let's give a chance to others. Tulsidas Prabhu, you wanna try?
It's difficult.
What is gross body? Gross body, you know this. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else who wants to try before I explain it? Okay, let. Yes, Devesh Prabhu.
I can do
The
it.
subtle bodies.
Okay, give me 1 minute. Let's give a chance to Neha Mataji. Yes, Neha Mataji.
Gross body dies. Like when we leave this earth, the gross body is left
Correct.
behind, but the subtle body is
It
made up
stays.
of mind, false ego, and intelligence, which goes with your
Perfect.
soul.
Perfect. That's what I wanted to hear exactly. This is the perfect answer. That what is the difference? The gross body is what we see. So gross body will be left here. You know, sometimes people will keep crying, but body is still there. But they will say, no, the person has left. So who is left? The soul and the subtle body has left. And what is subtle body? Like Mataji said, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Okay. Now, 2 more questions are left. Does gross, okay, that Mataji already clarified. The last one is, who is Krishna? In one line, if you say, if someone ask you that, okay, you are, having these classes, and Krishna is giving this knowledge to Arjuna. So Arjuna, everybody knows he's a warrior. But in one line, if you someone ask who is Krishna, then what would be our reply? Okay. Yes.
Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes.
Yeah.
This means he is the Supreme Lord himself. That's absolutely right. Actually, why we say Supreme Personality of Godhead? Because people have made up a lot of God in their mind. Some people say this is God, that is God. So we say he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which means whatever God you have in your mind, he is the Supreme Personality of all of them. So we are putting Krishna very strongly. So it doesn't leave any conception in people's mind. That's how Srila Prabhupada has shown us the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so thank you all for your answers. We'll start with chapter 8 today. So it's an amazing chapter actually. We are in the middle of Bhagavad Gita. So I hope all of you can see my screen. So chapter 8. So it has 4 sections, and first 4 shlokas you will see. Give me 1 minute. Let me pull my pen now. Okay. And there we go. So okay. Yes. So we'll cover this one first, 8.1 to 8.4. So here in chapter 8, so what happened, in chapter 7, Krishna has explained a lot of things about Bhakti Yoga. But Arjuna is still confused because he wants to understand things in more deeper way. So first 4 shlokas of this chapter will cover Arjuna's doubts, what Arjuna is asking, and we'll also cover the answers from Krishna. And then this is very, very important actually. We'll see in the next few shlokas about death. See, a lot of people do not like to even talk about this concept death. Why? Because all of us are very fearful of death. So like we were discussing in one of our classes, Socrates, one of the first philosophers, he used to say that if a child is afraid of darkness, we will excuse him. No problem. He is afraid of darkness, no problem. But the wonder is, even the man is afraid of light. Which means man is already in darkness, but he is afraid of light. So what he's trying to say is, man is afraid of knowledge. You tell them about soul, death, they will not talk to you. They don't like. So it's like a child. I remember in my young age, I had an exam, for example, tomorrow. And if I go and play cricket, and my mother will be shouting, Hey, Alok, you have exam tomorrow. You have exam tomorrow. I will not like to hear that. Why? Because I want to enjoy playing cricket. Correct. Similarly, people are so much addicted of enjoying in this world. If you will tell them the real knowledge, they will not like to hear. They think that it is a problem in our enjoyment. So let us stay in darkness. No problem. When the death will come, we'll see tomorrow. Like this child, like my example I told you. If I fail in exam tomorrow, no problem. But right now you let me play cricket. So I don't want to hear the reality that my exam is there tomorrow. So similarly, people don't want to hear the reality that there is a death awaiting next door anytime. People don't want to hear the reality. That's why they just want to stay in darkness. Like Socrates was saying, it's a great wonder. It's a great wonder. Why? Because people don't want to stay out of darkness. So we'll discuss that. And then Krishna will tell a lot of formulas how we can attain him. And then eventually, so he will also discuss different Kundalini Jagrat and so many other meditation techniques. But eventually he will conclude that pure devotion, which means Bhakti Yoga, is the best way to attain him. So this is the overall overview of this chapter. So let's begin with. So this is the first question of Arjuna in this chapter. Arjun says, Arjuna Uvacha, Kim tad brahma kim dhyatmam kim karam purushottama adibhutam cha kim proktam adidevam kim uchyate. You see, I have highlighted here, there are 5 kim. Kim means, kim here means what is. So he is asking 5 questions here. Kim tad brahmam. Tad brahma means Brahma. Who is Brahman? Kim adhyatmam. Who is self? Kim karma. What is fruitive activity? And then he's saying adhibhuta cha kim. Adhibhutam means what is material manifestation. And adidevam kim. Adidevam means who are the demigods. Because Krishna told a lot of things in the previous chapter. Now he's trying to clarify all of them. So one is who is Brahman, what is self, and what are fruitive activities, what is this material manifestation, and what are demigods and all. Please explain this to me. So we'll understand the answers of Krishna through these diagrams, so we can better relate to him. So his question, Arjuna's question is Adhyatma. What is Adhyatma? So all of you know Atma, right? So that is inside our body, right? So from the body perspective, if someone asks what is Adhyatma, then you will say soul is Adhyatma. But from universe perspective, it might be body also. So it depends on the content, the context you are talking, right? So body will be Atma if universe we are talking about. Similarly, people sometimes don't know the concept of soul. So they will say mind is Adhyatma. So that is fine. To start with, okay, mind is. So all 3 are Adhyatma, Krishna says. So let's say you see in this example, in this picture, this old person is dying and his soul is coming out. And you see these Yamdutas. These Yamdutas are pulling this soul out. And all these relatives surrounding him, they are crying. And for them, it might be wonder that the body is lying here, who has left. So the soul has passed away. Anyone remembers the size of soul? What is the size of soul inside our body?
You said 1/10,000th the time of the hair, the tip of the hair.
Exactly. So small, you see, so minute soul. And the same size of soul is there in dog, elephant, and ant, in ourselves also, in a big banyan tree also. Same size of soul. Now, so this is Adhyatma. Now, you see, what is Brahman? Krishna is asking, Arjuna is asking, what is Brahma? So Krishna replies, Brahman is indestructible and eternally existing and refers to the living entity. So the soul within the body is Brahman. Then who is Krishna? Krishna is Parabrahman. So Brahman is a minute part. So Brahman, you see on my screen, Brahman means soul, and Parabrahman means super soul. super soul within the body. So Krishna is so loving that when he expands this universe, and in every universe, Garbhodakshai Vishnu will go, and Garbhodakshai Vishnu as Paramatma will go in every living body also. So he wants to personally take care of every living body. So in my body, I have soul. So I am soul, and I have super soul also. Similarly, in your body, you are soul, and then you have super soul also. So Krishna is like that in every body also. So Krishna is Para Brahma, we are Brahman. So we have limited independence. Krishna is full independent. Okay. Move on to the next question. If anywhere you feel any question, please feel free to interrupt and ask your clarification. So similarly, Arjuna is asking what is karma. So karma we have discussed a lot. So it's material consciousness. So Jiva's nature is to try to lord over the matter. So we want to enjoy, and because we want to enjoy, we do a lot of things. Correct? Whatever our actions are. For example, I go to kitchen to pick up some vegetable to eat. So I want to enjoy, right? Similarly, I take my car and go out to visit some places. So I want to enjoy, I want to go out. So similarly, whatever I'm doing to enjoy, that is karma. And that's why it's called material consciousness. Now, the question here is, then what is the result of this? Can I not eternally keep enjoying? No. See, if I kick in a wall, then I immediately get the reaction back. I can kick a pillow, I can kick a wall also. So if with the force, if I kick a wall, then I will hurt myself. Similarly, if I kick a pillow, I will not get that. I will not hurt that much. Right. So similarly, action works. If action is pious, then I will get the reaction where I can enjoy. But if I do karma, which is not prescribed in scriptures, which is called papa. So if I do pap, then I will get hurt. How? In this life and after this life. In this life, how? In this life, like I will get severe disease, different disease I will get. And after life, I will go to hellish planets. And then Yamdutas will chastise me. Correct? So this is karma, and that's how the reaction works. So based on the karma, a person will get different bodies. For example, in this picture you see, here this person is eating meat. Now if you see, the dirty things, there is the business of pig. So Krishna says, okay, I gave you human body, but you are not respecting it. You are not properly utilizing it. Let me make you a pig. Similarly, you see this person is disturbing this woman. So he's very lusty. So, okay, you should become dog. He will be made dog because dogs are of that nature. And on the contrary, if we do akarma, so there is karma and then there is akarma. Akarma means we are doing karma not for our own enjoyment, but for Krishna's enjoyment. So for example, someone is making garland for Krishna. He has a deity, he has Krishna in his home, he is making garland. And similarly, he is preparing bhoga to offer this to Lord. So he is doing a lot of activities like this. So similarly, in office also he is working, but whatever he will earn by his working, he will offer this to Krishna. So all these karma that he is doing, that will be qualified as akarma, because karma means material enjoyment. Akarma means Krishna's enjoyment. As simple as that. Okay. Then Arjuna is asking, what is Adi Bhut? Now, Adi Bhut means what is continuously changing. So you see, the soul is one Adi Bhut, and this. So you see, the body is ever changing. Soul is as it is. Soul is not changing, but the body is changing. And similarly, you see, so body is one manifestation, and then universal is another manifestation. Whole universe. So you take both of them, but both of them are continuously changing. So you see on my screen, ever changing material manifestation. So when you say material manifestation, it may be anything like we discussed, body, and it might be universe also. These are both are material. So these are constantly changing. Material bodies generally pass through 6 stages. What are those 6 stages? Birth, growth, maintenance, produce some byproducts, dwindle, and then they vanish. Dwindle means like the old age. Like after certain age, the person will keep complaining that, oh, I am starting getting this pain, get that pain. My eyes are not able to clearly see the things. I'm not able to get up from my bed. So keeps slowly, he keeps dwindling and then dead, vanish. These are the stages that the living entity pass actually. All the living entities, you put them, they have to pass through all these stages. And this physical nature is called Adi Bhut. So Adi Bhut means which has to go through all these stages. All these stages: birth, growth, maintenance, then products, some byproducts, some dwindle, and then they vanish. So there's I hope you are able to understand, right? So birth and then growth, then maintenance, and then there will be byproduct. Byproduct means children. Like husband and woman will marry and then they will beget children. And then they will take care of the children, but eventually what would happen? Dwindling. The body will keep complaining and then they die. This is the physical nature. It is called Adibhuta. Then Arjuna is asking, who is Adideva? So universal form of the Lord, that includes all the demigods. This is called Virat Rupa. Actually, this Virat Rupa, some attached yogi, they are not able to, they have some attachment with the word. So they meditate on the Virat Rupa of the Lord. So this Virat Rupa is like, if you say whole universe, like Patal is the bottom of the feet. In this screen, you see Patal is the bottom of the feet. Similarly, Satyalok, which is the topmost, is the head of the Lord. And in between, all the lokas have been qualified as the own body of the Lord. So this is our Lord, universal form of the Lord. So this is a universal form that Arjuna showed to, Krishna showed to Arjuna also. This is the Adi Deva form of the Lord. So mostly attached yogis, those are attached with the material world. They have to do, oh, I want this thing and that thing. And so they approach to the Lord and they meditate on this form of the Lord. This is called Adi Devata form. So eventually the yogi will realize, because when he is approaching different people, may that be demigod, he is not satisfied. So eventually when he will approach the Adi Devata, he will realize that, oh, what I am looking after is so small, and actually Lord has the whole source of the whole pleasure. So eventually he will be purified. So this was another question of Arjuna. Now let's see further questions from Arjuna. Arjuna is saying, Adi yagya katham kotra dehe ismin madhusudhana geyoshi prankale cha katham geyosi nityatmadvi. He's saying, who is the Lord of sacrifice? So we do a lot of sacrifice in our life. For example, a husband is doing a lot of sacrifice to take care of his family. But the family is not the ultimate object of his sacrifice. There should be someone on top of the family also. For example, his own parents, they got them married. But then who parents came from? Parents came from his grandparents. But again, who grandparents came from? So if we go by that route, then Krishna becomes the first root. So he is trying to know who is the root of the sacrifice. So all of us are trying to do some sacrifice for someone or something in our life. But who is the root of that sacrifice? He is trying to understand who is the Lord of sacrifice. And how does he live in the body? So in the previous shlokas, Krishna is talking about Paramatma, right? So now he's trying to understand how he lives in the body. And how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? He's trying to understand, because Krishna was telling that they come to me, then they will come to me, they do this, they come to me. So he's trying to understand how people engage in devotional service, they will know you. So you see this picture. So his question is Adi Yagna. Yagna means who is the Lord of sacrifice? Adi Yagna. Yagna means sacrifice. Adi means Lord. So who is the Lord of the sacrifice? So answer is Super Soul. Super Soul situated in our hearts called Paramatma. So is Dharanashraya of detached yogis. So the yogis which are detached from the world, they actually meditate within their heart on Paramatma. So you see the attached yogis, they are meditating on the universal form of the Lord. But the Lord is also living as Paramatma within our heart. So the detached yogi, detached from this world, they meditate on the Super Soul within our heart. One example is Dhruv. Dhruv was meditating on the Super Soul within the heart. Now there are some lines that I have picked up from Srila Prabhupada purport or in Bhagavad Gita as it is. Prabhupada says, in the process of sacrifice, the living entity makes specific sacrifices to attain specific heavenly planets and consequently reaches them. So you see, some people want to enjoy heavenly planets. So they will worship the Lord and then Lord will award them. Okay, no problem. You go to heavenly planet. But how does it work actually? So this is the process. When the merit of sacrifice is exhausted, which means they have gone to the heavenly planet, but they will stay there only for some time. For example, all of us are in this human body. Some will stay in the human body for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. There is no fixed time. And who is deciding this time? Our karma, right? So, for example, you have some money in your bank account, you can purchase one BHK apartment. Someone else can purchase 2 BHK apartment. And some might have lot of money. He might even buy a bungalow, or some have lot more. He can even buy a palace, right? Depending on the amount that we have in our account. So similarly, here in this, it says when the merit of sacrifice is exhausted, which means if you have enjoy as per your karma, you have enjoyed sufficiently in the heavenly planet, then what happens? The living entity descends to earth in the form of rain. Now let's understand it. You see how this person went to heaven. He did some sacrifice on earth. So there was an Havan Kund, you see on my screen, and he was putting some ahuti in this Havan Kund, right? So when he was putting some ahuti in this ahuti is nothing but his faith. Please understand it very carefully. It is little bit complex, but I will try to explain it. So there is person A who did lot of sacrifice. So he was putting ahuti in this Havan Kund. This ahuti is nothing but his faith. Now this person A goes to heavenly planet, like we just discussed. After his sacrifice is exhausted, what would happen? The rain will take him as ahuti. Who? The soul. The soul will become the ahuti for rain. And then this rain will enter into wheat. Then what would happen? This wheat will become the ahuti for B person. He will eat it. And this will be converted into semen. He will eat the wheat and then it will be made semen. Then the semen will become the ahuti and it will enter into mother's womb. And then this person will again come back to this material world. You see the cycle a person is stuck if it is not doing the right sacrifice. I can explain it again if you want. Let me know.
So Prabhuji, please
Please,
explain.
Prabhuji, please.
Yeah, okay. You see, this person A, he wants to go to heavenly planet. So what he does yajna. He does sacrifice, right? Then what happens in usually yajnas, we put lot of ahutis in there. So what happens? His faith is nothing but that ahuti. I mean, how would otherwise put the ahuti? I should have sufficient faith to put those ahuti. So his faith is driving him to go to heavenly planets, right? Now, after let's say he incurred sufficient karma to stay in heavenly planets for 1,000 years. After 1,000 years, what would happen? He would come back on earth. How he will come back? We'll understand it. So he will come through rain. Rain will take him as ahuti. So rain also, so this soul will enter into rain and rain will come on wheat. Then, so are we good so far? Is there any question? Please feel free to interrupt immediately. Huh? Rain will fall on earth and then they will go into wheat. So they will produce wheat. You see all the farmers, they have crops and then they convert into wheat. So he will enter into wheat. Now this wheat, when a bee person will eat, he will enter into semen. So now semen is going to become an ahuti for mother's womb, right? And then semen, when it will enter into mother's womb or embryo, then a child will take birth. So he will again come back into this material world. I mean, heavenly planet is also part of material world, but the point is, he is not doing anything good as such for himself. Good means he is still stuck in the cycle of birth and death. Is it complex to understand? Anand Prabhu?
No, Prabhuji.
Does
Very
it make
clear.
sense now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Devesh Prabhu, is it good now? Yes, Smita Mataji, you have a question?
Prabhuji, I'm not Hare Krishna.
Yes,
I'm
Mataji.
not understanding Ahuti really. What exactly Ahuti you're trying to say, that it's a medium
God.
basically, right? It's a medium of transferring something from one source to the other.
See, basically what we are trying to establish here is that this is the process of sacrifice in the whole cycle. And the process of sacrifice needs ahuti. So, for example, a person A has to go to heavenly planet. He needs some ahuti. So his ahuti is his faith. Similarly, this person has to again come back on earth. So it will come in the form of rain, but rain also needs some ahuti. Otherwise, how he will come and go back to become A here again on the earth? So they will take him as ahuti. So the raindrops will have a lot of souls inside. Those have done a lot of pious karma. They would again come back on earth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now the rain. Now from rain, wheat has to be developed. You know, sometimes you will see these news coming up that all the crops were destroyed. Why? Because there was a drought or there was no rain this summer. Things like that. Right? Crops are destroyed. So the crops to produce wheat, they need rain. But this is also a process of sacrifice because you are producing something. Without sacrifice, you cannot get anything in this world. For example, someone has to get promotion in the company. He has to really do a sacrifice. He'll have to work 10 hours, 12 hours in the company. Then only boss will say, okay, you have done sufficient sacrifice for me. I will promote you. You know what I mean? Or now someone can say, no, I did not do that much work. Still, I got the promotion. Actually, he has done a lot of sacrifice in the previous life. That's why he's getting the benefit now. So without the sacrifice, you cannot get anything in this world. Now, only the question is, sometimes we are able to see that sacrifice if it is in this life. And sometimes we are not able to see that sacrifice from previous birth. For example, someone is taking birth in a rich family. What sacrifice he has done? He will not know because he doesn't remember the previous birth. But he has definitely done some sacrifice in the previous life. That's how he has ended up becoming the son of Anil Ambani or some rich guy, anyone. So the rain has to become wheat, which means they need some sacrifice. So what they take as a sacrifice, this rain enters into the crop and they become wheat. Similarly, this mother has to produce children. So what is the sacrifice? What is the ahuti for mother? This semen becomes the ahuti for mother's embryo, and then they become. So what the point here is, this is the process of sacrifice. But if we don't do the right way, then the person is ending up here in the material world only. Okay. So you see, in this way, living entity perpetually comes and goes on the material path. Krishna conscious person, however, avoids such sacrifices. He directly takes to Krishna consciousness and thereby prepares himself to return to God.
Prabhuji, I have some questions here. I have some questions here.
Yes, Deveshwar.
One, if a person is doing good deeds, sacrificing through faith, going
Correct.
to the heavenly planets. So, what are the sacrifice we all Krishna conscious people do, so that we go directly to go back to Godhead, or
Yes,
even
that's a very good question.
Even if our deeds are not that much been done to go back to Godhead, we at least should not get stuck in process.
Yes, so that will be answered later.
Okay.
Because
So now
Arjuna is
second,
also asking the same question.
Prabhuji, second question. Now
Yes.
you said that sometimes because of drought, there
Yeah.
was no crop. So in case, shall we mean that during that time there was no souls supposed to be come back from the heavenly planets because
Yes.
there is drought?
Correct. Correct. It both ways actually. Sometimes because of sinful actions on this earth, some souls are stopped coming on this. See, there is a, for example, let's take an example. You want Ferrari in your house, but you don't have money. How would you get that? Correct. There is no way you can, because you don't have the money. Similarly, if you want some crops, some wheat to satisfy the hunger, then there should be sufficient karma attached to us. If no, then you do some sacrifice now. But the problem is we don't know the process of sacrifice at all. So if we are engaged in our sinful activity and we don't have previous balance also, then all these natural calamities will definitely come. And the corona is not very far. We saw that recently. That is why all the you see our parents, grandparents, they were very much engaged into the process of worship. But they knew the importance of Devakripa, right? That's how we actually, it's their blessings. We are actually having all these classes or are in a nice position today, you know. So we have a lot of things to cover. Let's quickly move on. Thank you, Devesh Bro. Nice question. Right. So Arjuna's questions we discussed. What were his questions? He wanted to know about soul. He wanted to know about karma, karmic reaction, sacrifice. If sacrifice is not clear, don't worry. It will be cleared in the third part when we'll discuss the attaining the supreme. Okay. Now let's move on to the death, the final exam. Now the question is death the end of who we are? I think by far we have all agreed that death is not the end. It is just the beginning of another life, right? One dies and then takes birth again, right? So what happens after that? Is there life after that? So let's understand it. So this another set of shlokas are only about death. So let's see. Krishna says, Antakale cha mameva Ismaran muktva kalevaram ya priyati samadbhavam yati nastatya sanshaya. He says, whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this, there is no doubt. Now, Krishna is putting additional assurance, saying that there is no doubt, that someone should not doubt about it at all. You see in this picture, anyone knows who's this picture about? Who is the person lying? I think some of you, I'm sure some of you must have seen this already previously sometime. Devesh Bro, you must be knowing. No?
Dead body.
Huh?
There is sound disturbance. Can you please repeat?
I'm saying, do you know this picture? Who is lying on the bed? So this guy is a Jamil. Here you see on the bed is a Jamil. I will show you a small video actually. Let me share my. Okay, 1 minute. Anand Bro, can you confirm you see the YouTube or you see my PPT?
I can see your PPT.
Okay, let me stop sharing and then I will share again. Okay, sharing now. So I've shared the sound also. I think screen is loading. Okay, all of you must be able to see now. Let's see. So this person is dying and he is while he is dying, he's saying Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. So he is actually calling his younger son's name. So let's hear it again.
Narayan, where are you, my son? Where are you? Narayan! Narayan! Oh, Narayan! Stop! Leave this man alone.
Who are you that dares to challenge us? For we are the Yamadutas. We are acting on the orders of our master, Yamaraj, the god of death and punishment. This man Ajamil, although born of a Brahmin family, has spent many years of his life breaking all the religious principles, causing pain and suffering to men and animals alike. Now, it is time to take him to the court of Yamaraj, the god of death, where he will be tried and punished for his sinful actions.
We cannot.
So you understood, right? This person who was lying on bed, his name is Ajamil, and he is at the death bed. But while he is about to die, he calls his younger son name is Narayan. And so as soon as he says Narayan, immediately Vishnu Doots, Narayan's Doot, they immediately appear. So he is one of the Doot, 4 Doots appear. And because this Brahman, even though he took birth in Brahman family, he was very sinful also. So Yamdut also came to take him. But you see the argument that started happening. Vishnuduts are here, Yamduts are there. Yamduts are there to take him to the Yamdutas, Yamraj, and Vishnuduts are here to save him. Now, why they are going to save him? Let's see. Even though he's very sinful, but it's still Vishnudut came and they are trying to save him. So let's see why they are saving him.
Allow you to take this soul. Ajamil has already atoned for all his sinful actions. In a helpless condition, he has chanted the holy name of Lord Narayan. Therefore, he has become purified of all his sins. If one chants the holy name of the Lord, knowingly or unknowingly, that chanting will still be effective. It is like medicine. If a sick man takes medicine, even if he does not know how it is acting, still the effects will be there. At the time of his death, Ajamil helplessly and loudly chanted the holy name of the Lord. That chanting has freed him, having to suffer the reactions of his sinful life. Therefore, do not try to take him to your master for punishment.
So you see, Yamdutas are saying that what punishment you are talking about, Yamdut? You are saying it is very sinful. What sin you are talking about? When he chanted Narayan's name, he immediately got freed from all sins. So there is no point of giving punishment at all. And we won't let you take him, take Ajamil, because he is chanting the Lord's name. So in this, why I showed you this, let's come back to our PPT. You see in this picture, Okay. You see in this picture here, I hope all of you can see my PPT. So, so here is Ajamil lying on the bed, and here we have Yamdutas pulling him, and then immediately these Yamdutas are coming to save him. Why he is saved, even though he was very sinful? Because he was chanting Lord's name. He was remembering the Lord. And here comes the same point. Krishna is saying, whoever at the end of his life puts his body remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Even though you see, Krishna is saying that who remembers me. Even Ajamil was not even remembering, he was just remembering Lord's name. Even though he was not knowing that uh, uh, this is the name of the, he was actually remembering his younger son, if you see. But younger son name was Narayan, he was calling him, but he got the benefit of chanting Lord's name. So that's how we see that the chanting is so important. See, if you are going on the road and you are hurt by some stone or something, then what comes in our mouth is what we are practicing. It's not suddenly someone will, someone can say, oh, at the time of death, I will chant Lord's name and I will be saved. No, we cannot cheat Krishna. We might be expert in cheating others. We cannot cheat Krishna actually. So if we will get hurt, let's say while walking, then what? Some people immediately say, oh, mummy. And some people might abuse also, because they are practicing that abuse. And devotees, they say, oh, Krishna. Why? Because they are practicing Krishna's name, they are chanting Krishna's name. So that's what Krishna is trying to say, that at what you have practiced throughout your life, you will remember that at the end of your life, and that's how you will be saved. Now, someone can argue that what is this? If let's say I have a lot of pain at old age, or let's say some heart disease, some deadly disease like cancer and all, they start, then I would be so much in pain. How would I be able to remember the Lord? But there is a discussion like that in Varaha Puran actually. Lakshmi ji asking Varahadev that you have put this condition that anyone who remembers you at the time of death, only he will be able to attain you. But this is very difficult. How is it possible? Then immediately Varahadev, out of love for his devotees, he immediately says, what if my devotees are not able to remember me at the time of death because of some reasonable, because of some good reason? Good reason in the sense, let's say because of some pain or any other situation. If they are not able to remember me, but they have nicely practiced devotional service throughout their life, then I will make sure that they come back to me. So that's the additional assurance Lord is giving, saying that if we practice nicely, if we chant every day 16 rounds, and we take association of devotees, we do not eat anything without offering to Krishna, then Krishna takes care of our sufferings, and ultimately he takes giving the assurance that he will take us back home, back to Godhead. Similarly, in this picture also you see another picture. Gajendra is crying. Gajendra is crying because this elephant Gajendra, his name is Gajendra, he was crying because a crocodile caught hold of his leg, and he kept suffering. Then eventually, because of his previous karma in previous birth, he remembered the Lord, and immediately Lord came, and then he cut the throat of the crocodile and saved Gajendra, and he took him back home, back to Godhead also. So how next body is awarded? We understood that it is awarded based on our remembrance at the time of death. Let's see what Krishna says here. 1 minute. Yeah. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajyante kalevaram tam tame vetti kaunteya sada tad bhavavita. It says, oh, there is a question. 1 minute. Devesh, do you have a question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, you just discussed about the Gajendra and the crocodile story. So there's a Gajendra Moksha Puri, the Stuti that Gajendra has told to Lord Hari, that many of the times it is said that when we have been stuck in severe problems and we are not getting any breakthrough in that,
So by chanting Gajendra Moksha Stuti, we can overcome it. So my question here is it good to do so? Because we will be remembering God for this for having some material benefits from Him, or will
Yeah.
it be a way that matlab God has created that situation for us where we are He is forcing us to remember Him. So what is the thought process? Matlab, the point one is
Yeah, in
correct or
both the
point two is
ways,
correct?
in whatever the case, let's say we want some material benefit, that then in that case also it is fine to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And even if we want to get relieved from from this body, want to go home back to Godhead, even the purpose is liberation also. In both the cases, chanting of Mahamantra is always fine. There is no issue at all. You see the example of Dhruv Maharaj. He had the material desire to attain big universe, and he approached the Lord. Then after 6 months of his worship, Lord came in front of him, and Lord awarded him the universe bigger than his grandparent. And then there are some devotees who approach the Lord for liberation. Lord awarded him that also. So both the ways, there is no problem. See, that is why worshipping the Supreme Lord Krishna is best, and why worshipping other demigods and going here and there is not fruitful, because their award is limited, and the award is not thinking, and the award giver is not thinking how is it beneficial for my devotee. But
No,
Krishna
my
is,
question is, in both of the cases, when Gajendra Stuti has been read, it is for the praising the Lord Hari also. It's only Krishna also, only. In both of the situations, only the thought process is different. One, in first case where the person is chanting the sloks Stuti of Gajendra
Correct.
because he wants some material benefits. In another situation, the thought process is that uh, Krishna has created these situations for me, and he wants me to overcome them, and by glorifying him through the Stuti which Gajendra has told. In both of the situations, we are reading the Gajendra Stuti. But my question is whether the point one, the thinking which I'm sharing, the first point, which is this is correct one, or the second one?
Both are correct. No problem. Both are correct.
Okay, so
There is no issue with
even
any.
if we want any material desires,
Yes, yes,
or
yes.
we stuck in something where we need some breakthrough, so
Yes,
reading
yes.
the Gajendra Stuti, even for the benefits, having some benefits is okay.
That is fine. That is fine. See, the
Thank you.
best is, best is that I tell you, the best is that we don't desire and just ask for the love for Krishna. But then we have to see how much it is troubling us. For example, you cannot expect a 10th grade student to behave as a PhD holder. So we have to see where we are. So even we are on whatever level, if we are approaching Krishna, that is the principle. There is no issue in that part. Even Krishna is also telling in the previous chapter we discussed that Krishna is saying that 4 types of people in misery, they come to me and I give them equal benefit. No problem. Yeah. Okay. So let's move on. Yam yam vapi sman bhavam त्यजन्ते कलेवरम tam tame vetti kaunteya sadatad bhava bhavita. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, he, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without dies. But what he is gonna get next depends on state, on his state, what state he is in. That will decide, his mental state will decide what he is remembering and all. That will decide what he's gonna get next. So when we accept one body after quitting another, so I mean, when we accept another body, when we accept a body and we quit, then the another body what we will get depend on what factors? Our desire and what we deserve, which means our good or bad karma in our account. So there are 2 things, what we desire and what we deserve. The 2 things. So basically, you see, karma is like, I would say karma is like paying price, what you have. So you might be desiring to get a palace. We were discussing this example, but if you don't have sufficient money in my pocket, I cannot buy palace. right? I want to buy a 1-bedroom apartment. Krishna will, and then I have the money. The builder will say, okay, you can take this. Similarly, we might have a lot of desires, but if we have the sufficient account, Krishna will award that. So I might be having desire to go to demigod and enjoy the heavenly kingdom, to become a demigod and enjoy the heavenly kingdom. But the problem is, have I worked sufficiently to achieve this body? For example, I have been eating throughout my life meat only. I was eating meat, but at the end of life, I am desiring to go to heavenly planet, become demigod. Then it is not possible because I don't deserve. I will be made. I will be given an animal body like a lion or something, right? So how it depends? It depends on our state of at the time of death. What is our mental state? What we are thoughtful of. There is a pastime of Prabhupada. What happened? One person, he was the owner of sugar mill and he was dying. So all of his sons, his relatives, everyone was surrounding him. And while he was dying, he was saying to his sons, oh, all of you are here? Who is there in mill? Who is there in my mill? So you see, he was dying, but he was still thinking of his mill. Prabhupada used to say that this person, there is a chance that this person have become a rat in his mill. There is a nice pastime. And one time Naradji comes to a family, to a householder. And Naradji says that, my dear son, I'm giving you one discount. What do? You finish your business here quickly and I will take you back home, back to Godhead. You don't need to do anything. I will immediately transport you into the spiritual world. So this householder says, Naradji, that is a very nice proposal and I'm very thankful to you. But you know, I have so many family members to take care of. If I will go, then who will take care of them? So let's do one thing. At the time of my death, you come and then you take me. No problem. Then Naradji comes back. Naradji says, okay. Then he comes back at the time of death. He says, okay, you are ready. I will take you now. He says, oh, no, Naradji, you know, I have become old. I took so many, take care of so many responsibility. And these people, they are not still matured enough. So I don't want to go. Please give me some more time. Now he dies and he becomes the dog in his own house, in front of his own house. And every day he will sit in front of his house on the gate. So his sons will come and his sons will come out of the house, and while coming back in the evening, they will see this dog sitting in front of their house. And he was so attached that he will see, let's say he will see my son is doing wrong, he will start barking. Because he had some karma because Naras Muni's blessings, he remembers his previous birth. So he will start barking. And so these sons, they thought that, oh, this dog is very troublesome. He's creating a lot of trouble for us. So one day his sons, they decided to kill him. So they brought a lot of stakes, thick stakes, and they started beating the dog and they killed him. Naradji again came and said, this is enough. Now you go. Then he says, no, you know, my sons, I know they were angry. It was my mistake, actually. They still not taking care of our fields properly. So I still want to take care of them. Naradji says, then he says, Naradji, probably some more lives you give me. Then he becomes a snake in the field of his own sons. And while he was, so he was very much attached to the family, so he becomes a snake. And then one day his sons found that there is a snake in the field and it is not good for their crop. So again, they beat him and kill him. So like that, the householders are very much attached to their own family or to office, business, so many things, blah, blah, blah. So what would eventually happen with them? They will keep taking birth in this material world and keep suffering with birth, death, old age, and disease. So that's what the point here is. Now see, we should be very careful also, because death can come anytime. You know, I was watching this video yesterday. I will share this with you. 1 minute. And this is real. I mean, this is not animated, or this is real. Anand Prabhu, can you confirm you see the YouTube or you see the PPT? I don't remember if I shared my screen.
YouTube.
YouTube, perfect. Okay. So let me, oh, I think I did not share the sound. Okay, sound is shared. Okay, please see this video. This is an eye-opening video, and this is real. This is not something which is animated or some things like that. Yeah. This person is a poet, and while he was narrating some poetry, death came. Immediately died. He was just a few seconds back. He was laughing. These are reporters, live channel. They were reporting, and suddenly this girl died. And they are not fainted, they died. Another reporter. This happened somewhere in Pakistan. This lady was reporting and suddenly left the body. Gone. Last breath. You see? Clearly you see the live channel. This person died. Again, there is some function. A young lady, he died. Yeah, this actress, she was giving interview, and suddenly she also died. Yeah, live channel. Again, you see, this is a marketing people. They were selling some product and died. Similarly, this airplane, this pilot, you see, and gone. You see, this was also coming live. He's a minister, and just back of this minister, you see this person died. After the match, you see, died. So these are all live videos actually. That death can come anytime. Anyway, I just wanted to show you these videos because this is real data. We usually go by real data, right? So this is real data that shows that life is the death can come at any time. So we have to, what we have to do, see, people outside, if they don't know, fine, but we are all practitioners of Bhakti Yoga. We are trying to understand the science of Bhagavad Gita. So after gaining this knowledge, there should be some action also. If you see in this picture, if there is a lusty person, what happens to him? He is made dog. A lazy person becomes a polar bear. A polar bear sleeps like 6 months in an year. So Krishna says, okay, you are not utilizing this body properly. I will give you another body, polar bear. An envious person becomes snake. All these actors, they show their 6 packs, 8 packs. They show their body. They were made tree. There is an incident on the Yar Kuber and Manigrave to the son of Kubera. They were showing their body. They were made trees. Similarly, those are habituated to eating meat. So meat eaters are made what? Dogs or animals, those eat meat like lion or CR that we call it in Hindi. So like that, the death can come anytime. If we wait to perform devotional service, it is very risky. Why? Because we will be given another body. And imagine if we are made tree, and in this body also, if someone asks us to stand for years, we will not be able to, right? So how painful it is to be tree or to snake or getting another body. At least at this time, we are not much worried about our eating, sleeping, or mating. Why? Because by Krishna's grace, our material benefits are getting taken care. But animals in this body keep roaming around for days and days to eat something. It's very difficult to stay in these bodies. These are very painful bodies actually. So we should be properly utilizing our human form of life. You see, this is another picture. It says, how do we prepare for next body? It shows how we prepare ourselves for the next body. This person is eating meat. So what actually is doing, you see in this picture, the second picture here, he is actually slowly, he's developing his consciousness of animal. So when he will die, he will be made animal. But on the contrary, if he is eating Krishna food, then slowly he is developing his consciousness to be of Krishna conscious, and then he will be sent back to Godhead. So this is an example of Bharat Maharaj. So Bharat Maharaj at the time of death, he was thinking of deer. Why? Because he was putting a lot of effort in taking care of deer. Like in this world, you see a lot of people are spending time with dogs and cats and animals. So what happens? They will be attached to them. And once they are attached to animals, at the time of their death, they will be, in the next birth, they will be made animal. And you don't know in that life, in the next birth, if someone is becoming animal, after that, when he will become human being again. It's a very, very rare opportunity to become a human being. So here Prabhupada is saying, of course, one's thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thoughts at the moment of death. So let's say today someone is thinking about, let's say, opposite sex, some opposite gender, someone keep thinking about. Then what would happen at the time of death? He will be given that body. Whatever he is thinking about, he will be given that body after the death, next life. So this life creates one's next life. If in one's present life, one lives in the mode of goodness and always thinks of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the time of one's life. That will help one be transferred to the transcendental nature of Krishna. So even though Bharat Maharaj was a very pious king, but what he did, he stopped chanting Krishna's name. So we might be doing good, so-called good to others. But if we are not chanting, then anything is possible at the time of death. So you're saying here is important, but practical application is also very important. Only then will it be possible to remember Krishna constantly. So we are at the 8th chapter, at this, we are middle of the Bhagavad Gita. I would request all of you also, if you are not, please start chanting if possible. And if you are already chanting, then you can, some of the devotees in our group are doing that actually. So if you're chanting, you can send me your score every day. So if any day you will miss, I can remind you that you missed your chanting for today. So that way you will become slowly regular. Otherwise, I can understand, it happened to me also in the beginning of my Bhakti Yoga practice. Even I'm practicing today also. So the material distractions are very heavy. We are having this association for 1 hour, 2 hours, but after that, material distractions are too heavy, so much heavy that we will forget that we have to chant also. But if someone is reminding us that you have to chant, then we'll gradually will become regular. That's how I also became regular. I was reporting my score to someone, and then he reminded me. You can also start doing that. If you're not chanting, please start chanting 1 round or 2 rounds every day. This is very important actually, what we are reading now. Of course, one's thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thoughts at the moment of death. So this life creates one's next life. If one's present one life, one lives in the mode of goodness. So we have the last line that will help one transfer to the transcendental nature of Krishna. Therefore, chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. This is the 7th shloka. I will not read the shloka because we have left with 15 minutes, but I will quickly start summarizing it. So Krishna is now establishing here that Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna. So some people say, we are worshipping Ganesha, Shiva, or this and that. That is also Krishna. Krishna is saying, as I am, as Krishna. And at the same time, carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. So what is our duty? So for example, I am IT professional. I have to keep continuing my duty. Someone is, let's say, a housewife. She has to continue her duties. Whatever position we are in, we don't have to leave those duties. We have to continue doing them. There is no escape. If there is escape, that means we are not following Krishna's instructions. We have to do our duty. But the important thing is, while doing those duties, we have to think of Krishna. Thinking of Krishna means, let's say when Mataji is cooking in the kitchen, she can hear Krishna's kirtan or Krishna's lecture. So that way thinking will start, right? Similarly, I am doing work in office, then I will get time where I just have to write for type only. So that time I can hear, like practically if I tell you, I'm all the time, I will be hearing Krishna's kirtan or lectures, thinking about Krishna starts when we do some practical service towards him. You know, a mother is thinking of child. Why? Because she is continuously serving for the child, taking care of child, cooking for the child, playing with the child, sleeping him or her. So that way she is always very conscious of child. So we have to become Krishna conscious. How? By serving Krishna. And at the same time, we have to do our duty also. That says, he who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, or is sure to reach me. So Krishna is giving the formula, how to reach him. He's saying, constantly engaged in remembering me. And as we discussed, how can we constantly engaged in remembering him? By hearing. Hearing is first, which means we can hear kirtan or we can hear lectures of Krishna. Because Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smarnam. Vishnu is Smarnam. How we will remember Krishna Smarnam? Shravanam Kirtanam, by Shravanam, by hearing. And Kirtanam. Kirtanam means preaching, by telling others. So for example, I am giving this class, all of you are hearing. Now you go and whoever you meet, then do kirtan. You tell that we learned this in our class today. So that would be kirtan. If you tell others about Krishna, what you are learning, what you are hearing, and you engage others also in Krishna's service, in the hearing and kirtan process, then what it gives Vishnu Smarnam. It gives remembrance of Krishna. And then what is the result? Again, we will go back to Godhead by this process. So we'll complete it there. Now, attaining the Supreme. You see, Krishna has actually explained. So I'm directly taking 14 shloka here, but actually Krishna has explained a lot of things about chakras in our body, which goes from rectum to the top of the head. But he understands that. So Arjuna is confused that, oh, how would I perform these many things? It's very difficult. Not everyone can do it. But Krishna is explaining here that, okay, it is also needed. It is not very much needed also. So what is the best way here? For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Partha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. He is saying that who is constantly remembering me, then I can easily be obtained. You see, one Mataji, she texted me last week. I don't know if she has joined, but so she wanted to she wanted to chant Hare Krishna, but for some reason she was not able to because of a lot of responsibilities. And she was telling me that I kept thinking whole day, how do I chant? So I was thinking that this is what it is. This is remembering Krishna. So for example, you have taken a vow to chant 4 rounds every day. And then continuously you are thinking, how do I complete my chanting? How do I complete my chanting? This is nothing but remembering Krishna. And then before sleeping, you complete your chanting also. This is the remembrance Krishna is talking about. We have to always remember Krishna, which means we take some good vows. After talking to our Shiksha Guru, we understand, okay, this is our duty. We do complete those vows in our day, and that will award us remembrance. That's how. That's
expiring.
Yes, Anantru.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So that's how we increase our remembrance for Krishna. So that is the way, this is the practical application. Actually, you will see in all our ISKCON temples, devotees will be having bead bags and they are chanting continuously. So it's easy. You sit and close your eyes and have meditation on the Kundalini. It is very, very difficult, especially in this age of Kali Yuga. Where will you go? Very difficult. But in this picture, you see this devotee is chanting. Simply bead bag is there, he's chanting, and Krishna is here. No problem. Immediately, so Krishna, as soon as we chant, Krishna is right there. And a lot of devotees have their realization. They were a lot of into material anxiety, fear. But as soon as they started chanting, after a few days, they have their own realization that we are feeling blessed. We are feeling blessed in this process. So Krishna is giving all these formulas to attain him. Okay. Mamupete punarjanam dukhalyam shashvatam natnubanti mahatmana sansiddhim paramatmagata. Dukhalayam ashashvatam. I'm reading this because there is this word dukhalayam ashashvatam. Dukhalayam means this word is full of miseries because they have attained this. Yeah, this word is full of miseries, and ashashvatam means this is temporary. Yeah, here also in this word you see. So this temporary word, and it is full of miseries. Now, someone can say, "Oh, I know what misery you are talking about. There is heat, there is cold. So no problem. There is a heat. I can use my AC. There is cold. No problem. A heater also." But all these are temporary arrangements we are making. And for how long we will keep making these temporary arrangements? Tomorrow we will be given another body of animal or anything. We will keep suffering there, right? So we want permanent solution. We don't want patching work. Patching work. We don't want patching work. We want permanent solution. That's the difference between an intelligent and unintelligent person. Unintelligent person will keep giving us temporary solution, like all the scientists in the world. They keep giving us something or other, but that is temporary solution. A lot of people are talking about vaccines. They are saying, "Oh, they gave us some temporary solution that time. Now vaccines are having some side effects." So many solution you will see, but those are temporary solution. But the Krishna is not giving us a temporary solution. He's giving the permanent solution. What is the permanent solution? To go back home, back to Godhead. Yeah. So from the highest planet in the material world down. Oh, that is the important information Krishna is giving here. You see on my screen. What happens? So this is the spiritual world, and this is the material world. So in the material world, what happens? There are so many lokas, right? So let's say this is Earth, where we are, and then on top of this, there will be many lokas. Down below, many lokas, but all are in material world. So the topmost material world loka is Brahma Loka. Brahma Loka. Brahma Loka is the topmost. Now about the topmost Brahma Loka, where one would aspire to go, Krishna is telling about that loka also. Krishna is saying, from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all places of misery wherein repeated birth death take place. But one attached to my nature, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Which means Krishna's house is here. That is Krishna's home. The spiritual world is Krishna's home. So Krishna is saying that these are all full of miseries. Now, is Brahma is also in trouble? Yes, Brahma also dies. You see here, by human call, Krishna is telling all these things. Krishna is saying 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day. So like an ant, if an ant age is just 1 month, then our age is, let's say, 100 years. Then a turtle must be living 200 years. We don't know. Similarly, this Brahma, he lives lot of years than us. This is Brahma's age calculation. I'll tell you in short. I have whole calculation here, but I'll tell you in short. This is the life of Brahma from our calculation. Around 300 trillion human years. Can you imagine Brahma's life here? We have whole calculation. I'll send you this calculation on our chat, in the group, WhatsApp group. So you will like this calculation, how Krishna is explaining the age of Brahma. So after this, Brahma also has to take birth again. This is the life of Brahma. Right? Now see what Krishna is saying. Krishna is saying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion, means by bhakti. Although he is present in his abode, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him. So sometimes people question that, oh, Krishna's abode, but is Krishna all pervading? Because he is sitting in his home. Is he still available to everyone? How can I see him? You also see him. Others can also see him if he is sitting in his abode. No, but we understood this in previous chapter that Krishna, even though he is sitting in his own abode, he is still all pervading. How? As Paramatma in everyone's heart, even in atom also. he is everywhere available. And whenever his devotee calls his name, you see in this picture, this person is stuck in this material world. Why I'm saying stuck? Because he is continuously be in a miserable situation. Some problem or other keep coming to him. So as soon as a person starts chanting and starts rendering service unto Krishna, Krishna immediately comes and saves this person from the repeated cycle of birth and death. So we'll take the last part today. Now, it's pure devotion is the best. Here Krishna says, according to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light, one in darkness. When one passes in night, he does not come back, but when one passes in darkness, he returns. Now, what does it mean? Actually, all these details are meaningful to a Jnani yogi or Ashtangi yogi, or you will say Dhyana yogi. They need to know all these details. Why? Because they are dependent on themselves for liberation, right? So they need to know, okay, which time is best for them to leave the body. But for devotees, all times are best. Because they know that their liberation depends on Krishna. So whatever time Krishna will decide, they are fine with that. What is the problem? So Krishna is telling that for others, it might be a time factor, what time to leave, what time to stay. But for devotees, it doesn't matter. See, he's saying this word although in the next shloka. He's saying, although devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Devotees also know that, okay, if I leave this body, this would happen, this won't happen. But because they are devotees, they are completely dependent on Krishna. Whatever Krishna wants them to stay back in material world because he has some services for the devotee to do. They are happy to do that because that is Krishna's responsibility now. For example, a child in the bus is with father. Child is traveling with his father in the bus. So child is not taking care of paying money to the conductor. Correct? Father will take care of paying the money and everything. Child is free. Wherever father is taking him to the child, taking the child, and child is fine with this. Similarly, anyone who starts practicing devotional service, and anyone who says, okay, sir, okay, Krishna, I am done with this material world. Sarvdharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. I am surrendering completely unto you. Then he gets a lot of relief. And then when he starts doing devotional service, he gets a lot of bliss. And sum total of everything is that he is so much dependent on Krishna that he doesn't even bother about his liberation. Why? Because he leave that on Supreme Father, Krishna. Krishna takes him to wherever Krishna wants him to take. He just enjoys with Krishna. So this is the beauty of devotion. Okay, this is the shloka, last shloka. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas. So Vedas have a lot of benefits. Actually, they will say, okay, if you do this, you will go to heavenly planet. If you do this, then you will get a lot of money. If you do this, you will get beautiful wife. Things like that. So many things. Performing sacrifice, undergoing austerities, giving charity, pursuing philosophical fruitive activities. But simply by performing devotional service, a person attains all these. So whatever benefits Vedas are giving in the form of heavenly planets, money, or things like that, anyone who comes to Krishna and he starts performing devotional service, he automatically starts getting all these benefits. And at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal goal. So he is happy in this life, he is happy after life also. But the one who is not performing devotional service, he is pathetic in this life and after life also. That is the summary of this chapter in the last shloka. And this is the supreme position of a bhakti yogi. In other yoga practice, people have put lot of effort and get very less gain. But as a bhakti yogi, a person gets a lot of benefit, not only after he dies, but while he is living also. Okay, so we'll stop now. This was the last shloka, and this is the summary of this chapter. It says that anyone at the time of death will think about yogis, I mean, we'll think about auspiciousness time, but pure devotees, any time is auspicious. Why? Because they are pure, they're completely dependent on Krishna. And then a person will perform the bhakti yogi practice. So he will Sharanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Sharanam Kirtanam Smaranam, Padasevanam, Achna Vidram, Dastyam Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. So there are 9 processes of devotional service. I will take 9 classes actually. I'm planning to take 9 classes after we'll complete this Bhagavad Gita course. And in every class, we'll take one piece of the one leg of the devotional service. This is one leg of devotional service called Sharanam. Then we have Kirtanam, Smaranam. So we'll start this series after this Bhagavad Gita class, but Bhagavad Gita class in September. Right. So, okay. So this is the chapter 8 summary we discussed. So Arjuna, quickly let's summarize. So Arjuna is asking a lot of questions about karma, soul, right? And then Krishna is trying to explain that we are Brahma and Krishna is Supreme Brahma. And then Krishna is telling that continuous remembrance can help one to attain him. Him means Krishna. So anyone can attain Krishna by engaging in the devotional service. And we understood that death can come anytime actually. What to talk about death? Even we might feel sick anytime, so much so that we won't be able to lift even our own hand, right? So that is why it is urgent. It is very urgent that we immediately catch hold of Krishna's feet and start rendering service unto him. And if we don't know how, we should immediately talk to the devotees and say, I want to do more, please help me. And then attaining the Supreme, Krishna told that how do we attain him. And then finally, Krishna is concluding that pure devotion is the best way to be happy in this life and to be happy after that. Okay, so we'll stop now. If there is a question, sorry, Devesh, you were raising hand. I think you had a question, or was that answered?
And then, Prabhuji, that you were telling that the devotees do not bother that when they are going to die, because they have left everything for the wish and will of the Krishna.
Yeah.
The point comes in, one of the 12th Mahajans is Bhishma Pitama. But he has taken a time and he waited for the Uttarayan to come. And when Uttarayan came, then only he has left his body. And he was one of the highest devotees.
Correct.
And why he does so? Why he
No,
waited
it's
for
not.
so long to get Uttarayan to come?
It is his own. It's not that they, if he will not die in Uttarayan, he will get some other. See, out of his own humble nature, he is thinking that, oh, I am not pure enough. Better I die in auspicious time. You and me know that he is a pure devotee, but pure devotee, he is thinking, oh, I am not pure. I am very contaminated. Better I die in auspicious time. You know the bhava.
So in case Prabhuji, we think that we are devotee, auspicious devotees, so we should not wait for any time to come. It does not it mean that we are thinking ourselves to be so pure, but actually we are not at all pure at all. Shall we also not wait for that time, thinking that we are not pure?
You are saying, shall we not? Sorry, I missed your question. Shall we not wait
I'm
for?
saying that, shall we not wait, thinking ourselves not a pure one, an impure one?
Oh, no. See, we are at the contaminated stage. Contaminated stage means we still have a lot of desires that we want to fulfill. Correct? So this is called Kanishta Adhikari stage.
It means we are not at all pure. We shall also wait for that auspicious times to come to leave our body so that we also go back to Godhead.
We can wait, but what I'm trying to say is the waiting of time is in the hand of pure devotees himself. You and me can't say that, okay, let me wait for some time and then at the time of Uttarayan, I will leave my body. We are still under the effect of material nature. We don't have that control over the nature.
Got the point.
You know, so what happens, at the stage of Kanishta Adhikari, we are understanding all these things, so we can have a strong faith in Bhakti Yoga. And eventually all these things will not matter, like what time we are leaving or we are not leaving. Correct, no? Devesh bro?
Got it, Prabhuji, got it.
Okay. Okay. Any other question from anyone? Okay. So we'll stop now. Thank you all for joining and giving me this opportunity to share this knowledge with all of you. Very, very thankful. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Babuji.
Hare Krishna, Andhra.